Welcome back, everyone, to episode 11 of Into the Nexus, the Heroes of the Storm podcast. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and I am joined, as always, by Willie Dills Gregory. Dills, welcome back.
Double digits. We did it. Oh, wait, 10 is double digits.
Double digits was last week, but 10 is still one syllable, so 11 makes you think of it a little more.
Double ones.
Double ones. This won't happen again for, 10 episodes. I guess technically 11. Anyways, sure. Yeah, welcome back. It's another week. If you're all freaking out and hitting the panic button because Kyle is missing, it's okay. He's just moving to Seattle. He will be back soon. I almost said next week, but we're not actually doing a show next week.
This does mean, though, that the level of expertise has dropped significantly on today's show. Not to say me and Garrett are slouches, but Kyle's pretty good at MOBAs. So.
Kyle's, and it has a long freaking history. I mean, he was playing whatever Dota was called before it was Dota on Warcraft 3.
I think it was just, it was not.
There was another mod before Dota. Kyle would know. This is why we need him.
But the Warcraft 3 one was basically just called Dota, right?
Yes. There was Warcraft 3 Dota, but even before that, there was a mod that kind of spawned Dota as a mod.
Sure. Whatever the hell that was.
I always forget the name, but Kyle would know because he played it. But anyways, it's okay. There's so much to talk about just specifically about Heroes of the Storm this week. I think we'll be just fine. It's not like we're going to be diving too deep into strategy specifically. I think we'll be okay with Kyle. I think we can skate by for a week without somebody going, well, this is like this hero in this MOBA.
Yeah, so we'll just make stuff up. And
exactly.
You guys will just have to deal with it.
There'll probably be like one or two more Hearthstone references than usual because there's no one here to rein us in.
No.
And we'll have a good 11th episode. That's what we're going to do.
But there'll be way less Dota references. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that balances out.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, as I mentioned, next week we're not doing a show. That'll be Thursday, July 3rd. That's because actually Dills and I, we'll be like in the air, like on an airplane on our way to Utah for Nerdtacular.
Yeah, sitting in a chair that's floating through the sky.
Yeah, man. I'm like right over the engine for all of my flights, so I'm not going to be able to hear it. I'm not going to be able to hear a damn thing. Apparently that's the safest place to sit, but it is so loud.
Really? Okay.
Apparently, like the extra structure from the wing, if you do go down and it, crashes, there's more support there, but whatever.
I always try to get the front seats, but airlines seem to be doing a thing now where they're like loading people in from the back, and then what happens is people who are sitting in the back use your overhead bins like assholes. And then when you get on, there's no more space for your freaking carry-on.
Yep.
So,
that's exactly. I actually went out yesterday, got myself a brand new tiny-ass little carry-on suitcase, so hopefully I don't need to worry about it. But my fiance, last time we went to BlizzCon, fiance, she has this perfect little small carry-on. Every time we go flying, she has to check the damn thing because by the time we get on, everything's filled up.
Like, no, sorry, there's no more space. You're like, really? Like, come on, man. Like, you should only be allowed to use the space right above you. Like, I just hate when I get on the plane and I get to my seat. I'm like, okay, there's definitely nobody in my aisle yet, and yet there are 3 bags in my overhead bin right now. It's terrible.
Yeah. Alas, traveling woes. They're gonna be interesting. So, if you didn't know that Dills and I were attending Nerdtacular, we are indeed attending Nerdtacular. If you don't know what Nerdtacular is, it's the annual meeting for the Frog Pants Network. It's a big nerdy convention, mostly about podcasts, more or less. So it's going to be my first time attending. I'm looking forward to it.
You are not going to regret attending this. This is Nerdtacular. For anybody who's not hip to Frog Pantery, it's a collection of podcasts and podcast personalities, and we get together and we just hang out in Utah randomly.
Yeah,
have a really good time. It used to be just like a movie we went to. I think the first year I went, we saw what did we see? We saw like Iron Man 2 or something like that, and that was basically the end of it. Like you went to the movie theater and you went and had drinks or whatever. But that was the festivities, and now it is 2 days fully scheduled in multiple rooms. There's just nonstop action going on the entire time. There's concerts at night, thanks to Brian Ibbett putting together stuff, and maybe a special guest appearance by a podcast host that you probably didn't expect in one of those.
In one
Belinda Johnson.
In one of the bands?
In one of the concerts, yeah.
Really?
Really.
That's awesome. Maybe. Is it you, Mr. I used to be in a band?
Hey, I'm not saying anything, man. Just going to have to come and find out.
I'll get drunk and commandeer a guitar.
Sweet.
It's going to be a good time. So anyways, yeah, come if you're going Nerdtacular, come say hi. Looking forward to it. Dills, you've got something else going on this weekend, actually, that you wanted to mention, even though it's not necessarily Heroes of the Storm specific.
No.
I'm sure.
But it's Dill specific, so if you like, if you live in the Bay Area, it's definitely specific to you. People know that we do The Angry Chicken together, which is the Hearthstone podcast, and this Saturday, the 28th, I believe it all starts at about 3 p.m., 4 p.m., but there's going to be a live Hearthstone tournament, $10 buy-in at Folsom Street Foundry, which is on 10th and Folsom in San Francisco, and it's open to everybody. Just come on by, hang out, and play some Hearthstone. You could win we'll probably have a pretty decent prize pool if we get enough players, but we are definitely going to have some money to give out to the winners and stuff. So it's going to be really, really cool, and I hope everybody who lives in the area comes by, whether they want to play or not. Just come on by and hang out. I will be there, and I'll be casting the thing on Twitch. So yeah.
Yeah, we need to come up with a name for these damn things, like, Hearthstone gatherings at bars, because for StarCraft, we called them barcrafts. It was really easy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's basically some of the barcraft people that you had worked with previously, and they're considering calling it something like that. Right now, I think they're calling it Showdown Throwdowns.
They could call it like Incraft.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
I don't know.
There's actually going to be, there's also going to be, Street Fighter going on as well at the same event.
The fighting game I never got into, and everyone looks at me like I have an eye in the middle of my forehead.
Yeah. People who know me know I'm a fan of the Giants, and Hunter Pence just started, who's the right fielder for the Giants, started streaming on Twitch last night or 2 nights ago. I watched it. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's playing nothing but what's that game with the Marvel heroes, the fighting game? Injustice. That's what he's playing.
Yeah, that'd be the DC heroes, not Marvel.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, DC heroes. Yeah.
yeah. That's made by the guys who made Mortal Kombat. It's a solid fighting game.
Yeah. It looked really fun, and he was actually really good at it, which was kind of surprising. I thought it was just going to be, Hunter Pence messing around, just being Hunter Pence, but no, he's like a gamer. He plays a lot of fighting games, apparently. He's going to stream all the time. So
cool.
Yeah, cool. That was exciting for me as a Giants fan.
Awesome. Well, all right. Well, we have a ton to talk about.
Yeah.
So go check out.
Pussyfooting around.
Yeah. There's quite a bit to talk about. We had a huge tech alpha patch this past week. Well, I actually just went up yesterday. Brought the game down for the entire day. It didn't come back up till just about midnight my time. I live on the East Coast, so. It was late.
You were patiently waiting too. I remember you were like, "Come on, man! I want to play this game."
Yeah. Go read my Twitter from last night. That's all it was. It was like, "Where are you, heroes? I want to play Zagara," which means I'm really tired. So there's that.
You did play Zagara.
I played so much Zagara.
Zagara was only 4,000 gold or so too. 4,000
gold well spent.
Yeah.
She's a lot of fun to play. We'll get into her specifically when we would usually talk about strategies, which is what we're going to talk about today. But anyways, international invites are coming out soon. They didn't get too specific as to which regions. As far as the game itself, though, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. The in-game UI received a lot of changes again. It still looks relatively the same. It's been severely scaled down. Like all of your action buttons are not nearly as large.
And the choice of talents is much smaller.
Yeah, the talent tab is much smaller, and there's no difference between like the quick select talent tab and then just the I want to click on it talent tab.
Yeah,
they kind of split the difference in size between the two of them, and now they're just the same damn thing.
I think it's smart because it took up like a quarter of your screen.
It was real freaking big last time, unless you use quick select, and then it was tiny. Yeah. And if you're like me and you're still learning a lot of these talents, you're just like, well, I still need to read them, but I would also like to not die from someone who's on the left half of my screen.
No, exactly. I think this was the correct move, is to make that, even if you still have the tiny one,
right?
You just make that one smaller. It did not need to be as big as it was. It was ridiculous.
No, it didn't. So, That's some good stuff. If you want to feel like a badass, they definitely made some steps in that direction of making you feel awesome when you do awesome things. A kill streak meter has been added into the game. It's right next to the in-game hero portrait. By far, my favorite thing is when you start getting kill streaks above 5 kills, your nameplate catches on fire, and it gets more and more on fire depending on how high your kill streak goes.
Nice. I haven't played an actual game yet. I logged in just to kind of mess around with Zagara a little bit and just test. Yeah. But do you see the opponent? Do you see their kill streak on their name tag? Like, do you see that they are on a kill streak?
You see the fire, yeah.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah. It's relatively subtle, but you still notice it, and you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm fire. I'm on fire, literally.
Yeah, but it makes you want to like target the good player maybe. So I think it's cool, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool. And then if you're the kind of guy that cares about that kind of stuff, it's just a little like added bonus. Like, yeah, I feel like a badass, and now you can see that I actually am one.
Yeah. So it only counts to 20 so far. But that's pretty high. I mean, it's tough to kill 20. I mean, I've done it several times.
I've ended games under 20 kills total for a team.
Sure.
As the winning team.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not often, but it has happened. So 20 is pretty high considering the length of these games. Kill streaks obviously are reset upon death. If you die, you lose your streak.
Mm-hmm. But that goes without saying, I think.
Yeah, more or less. Notifications have been changed around. The ones that appear at the top of the screen now only focus on hero takedowns. You're not going to see notifications about like towns being destroyed up at the top anymore.
Okay.
Mercenary camps were also previously up there as well. And then battleground specific notifications have been moved above the mini map, which I think is fine.
Yeah, it is fine. I think it's good to kind of distinguish between the two a little bit, because at a certain point it popped up so often that you just kind of stop paying attention to it,
Yeah.
So having it kind of be in two different places kind of means that you can, without actually looking at it and taking a moment to read it, kind of understand what's going on. Like, oh, a kill just happened.
Yeah.
Oh, a town just got destroyed. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, lost stills. 1 sec. Are you back?
I'm back.
Okay.
That was a sudden and abrupt boot off of Skype.
That was weird. But you're sounding a little better, so I think we're okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Maybe it was just like a slow deterioration of Skype. It's so bizarre, man. My internet is totally fine right now.
And it's like
100% Skype.
Monday nights, you're fine, but Thursday night, the internet just doesn't work. Or Skype just doesn't want you to record into the Nexus.
No. Apparently, Skype is a big Dota fan.
I listened to last week's instance. You sounded fine. Friday mornings, you're great. Monday nights, you're totally okay.
Maybe Thursday night is my roommate's torrent porn night or something. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
Hey, buddy, you want to lay off on Thursday nights?
Shift that to Wednesdays,
between
please.
9 and...
I don't do any podcasts then.
Oh, that's so funny and wrong at the same time. Getting back into this stuff. Some of the heroes got updated models, and they seem to be focusing on their skins, because some of the heroes who had updated models, their skins still kind of reflected the old versions. Like Uther actually still is like this. Uther's base model looks totally badass, but then if you pick like Medic Uther, you look at his head, he looks like a Ken doll.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. It's like they're totally separated models, right? Rather than just applying the skin to the cool looking model, it's a completely separated one.
Exactly. What I think it was is that they had the base, the old models, and then everything was built off of that if they had skins. Because Arthas was the same way. Because now Arthas's new skin, like his new version of Paladin Arthas, looks to be based off of the existing Lich King one. Like the hair looks exactly the same. It's just as detailed and whatnot. But yeah, Arthas's skins got updated. Rainer's skins got updated, and all of Stitch's skins have been updated. So yeah, all those 3 heroes had skins that were reflecting the old models. Now they look great. The new Arthas, like Paladin Arthas, looks freaking badass. But they got rid of his like black and red horde color variant, and that makes me so sad.
Oh, okay.
I loved running around with the giant horde emblem on my cape. I want that back, Blizzard. What the heck? So
yeah, bring it back. Come on.
Mercenary's got
this kind of stuff is just going to keep happening, though. I mean, this is like, we're just going to get this
weird little tweaks. I'm going to get really, like married to a certain skin, and it's going to get changed, and I'm going to be sad. Let's talk about Mercenaries, because you've been saying that changes are on the horizon for Mercenaries, and it looks like you were right. Because the Mercenary camps, all of them, now scale up to 30 minutes of elapsed game time, and captured Mercenaries now scale up to 60 minutes of elapsed game time, meaning that captured Mercenaries are going to be a lot stronger than the ones you're just fighting late in the game. Mm-hmm. Although, have you had a game that's gone an hour? Because I haven't.
No, I've definitely had games that have gone 40, 45 minutes, but
and they were probably all on Dragon
those
Shadow,
are outliers, right? Yeah.
Probably
those just happen so infrequently that it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean that's I mean this okay, so it's after 30 minutes, it's pretty easy to solo most merc camps anyway, right?
Yeah.
So this is minimal, I think.
Right. The Grave Golem got a bunch of changes. They said that the captured Mercenary Grave Golems are now roughly equivalent in strength to a 30 skull golem on Haunted Mines. So that's cool. I like that they put it in terms that we could understand. It's like,
but I don't know if that's a nerf or a buff, though.
That is a good point.
Where was it before?
Yeah, that is a really good point. I didn't think about that. It also now seeks out structures and ignores heroes, minions, and mercenaries, so it's behaving exactly like the Haunted Mines Grave Golem.
I like that because that's more like a golem is a golem is a golem.
Right. It's consistent throughout the game, even if the golem is the specific objective of that particular battleground.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's the right call, because it's weird to say, oh, this is a golem that ignores everything. Oh, and this is a golem that actually tries to kill you. It's just weird,
Yeah.
So good move.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was kind of wigged me out in my first couple of games last night, because like a golem be coming, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get in its path so it doesn't wail on this wall, and it just goes sailing right past me. I'm just like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I did read that in the notes. I forgot. Oops.
There's certain heroes that suck at killing golems too.
Yeah, big time. So now they just all behave the same. So just get to the nearest wall that it's going to hit and get ready to defend. Mercenary Grave Golems no longer only stomp minions, which I wasn't even aware was a thing last time.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So, I'm going to just take a break. You're getting like.
Let me try switching to the other computer and see if that helps.
Right.
Because I don't know why. They're on the same internet, but I can tell that I'm way behind right now.
Gotcha.
Because I'm saying stuff and then you're responding much later than I say it.
Okay. All right. Let's give it a shot. Sorry, guys. Internet issues. So, what's up, chat room? How you doing? Why are you shaking your fist? Because of Skype. Yeah, I'm shaking my fist at Skype too. That is no good. Yeah, poor Dills. Thursday nights, man, his internet just goes to hell and back. Apparently, he's like saying stuff, and I'm responding like minutes after he says it. So, that's fun. Zen Style writes, this podcast needs Robert Wing, and I'm about to agree with him when I remember that Zen Style is in fact Robert Wing. I see you in there, Robert. Being a troll. Don't do that. It's no good. All right, let's try getting Dills back in here.
How's this?
Well, you're a little quiet.
Ew.
You're real quiet.
That's just difference between computers. Whatchamacallits. Let me just turn it up a little bit. How's that?
Much more better.
Got it.
Yeah.
I like it more better.
Just give me a good Dills yes, and that'll give me a
yes.
There we go.
In there? All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Levels are okay.
All right.
Oh man.
Hopefully, I don't understand why that would matter that I switch computers because same internet, but whatever. Worth a shot.
Nice. All right, so can we get back talking about Mercenary and Grave Golem changes?
We can, absolutely.
Yeah,
we can.
I believe I was saying that I wasn't aware that golems only stomped minions before, but I guess it's good to know that that's not the case.
I didn't realize that either, but okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thanks for pointing that out.
Indeed. So let's move on talking about the changes to the knights, because they're, oh man, I don't know how I feel about knights now. The sorcerer... Yeah. Who was the little caster in the back who you always had to kill first, and if you're not killing him first, you're doing it wrong because he heals the other dudes, the actual knights. He no longer shields the other knights.
He doesn't shield them, but he still heals.
He still heals them, but it's way easier to just burn through his healing.
Yeah.
The damage, the damage or the attack speed, which is what I thought it was an attack speed aura, but this is calling it a damage aura. It's been removed. So this was the ring around the caster. That was the whole reason you wanted the knights in the first place.
That's why they were so good.
You fight in this buff, and it's such a huge upswing in your favor. It's gone. Doesn't exist. They give you no buff whatsoever.
So I guess the reasoning behind this is that the knights were just incredibly overpowered. And I think they kind of were. Because what you could do is you could, and I was playing a lot of Gazlo. You would grab the knights, then you would go forward a little bit, and as they were going, you'd grab the giants that were going down the same lane, and then your giants were like super giants inside that aura.
Yeah, it was like they had a machine gun that fired boulders.
Yeah,
they were just firing so fast.
Yeah, so I guess Blizzard decided that this was just a little too powerful. And
I'm just surprised to see it just removed entirely, as opposed to I don't know, just taking the buff down a notch or two.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen it taken down a little bit. I still think it added a cool little wrinkle to merc camps, and this to me feels like a nerfed Gazlo. To be honest, the whole thing.
I guess a little bit. I mean,
a little bit.
They're much easier to take now, but they're also a lot easier to deal with. So
sure,
I mean, it's kind of, it all kind of balances out in the end, I guess. The sorcerer also now heals other knights and surrounding minions, but I mean it's not really that big of a deal. No. The siege giants have been changed. Their attacks can no longer be dodged.
Yeah, so the little rocks they throw just follow you.
Yeah, they just straight up hit you, which I'm not sure I love. And the attack damage has been reduced from 100 to 80. They said that was to compensate for this change, so you're not just going to get blown up since you can't dodge these attacks.
So basically, if you were to take 5 hits from a giant, now you can take 6, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I still think though that I liked the ability to kind of micro the attacks and then still use, especially when I was playing on Nova, I could still take giants solo pretty easily. I definitely couldn't take knights, but I could take giants. Gazlo, I don't give a crap. I just, I put my turrets down and they attack.
I was about to say, since I've been playing almost nothing but Zagara, I haven't really noticed much of an issue with all this because Zagara is like a minion spawning king or queen, I guess.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
A queen. It is.
She's
a queen.
Zerg queen. She spawns roaches. She spawns hydralisks. So she's so good at taking merc camps.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't.
because she's never tanking them. It's always her
exactly.
Little buddies.
So it's like I haven't even really noticed that this is a problem because I haven't been playing a hero that really has to worry about getting hit.
Yeah. Well, so with Gazlo, I'll just kind of explain how that goes. Like you rush up and you drop a turret, and then you drop your AOE, which actually stuns them. So and then at a certain point, you can actually drop that AOE twice.
Yeah, because they're not smart enough to get out of it, and it's not like
no, they stay right in it, and they get stunned, and so they basically never attack. But even before you can drop it twice, you can chuck your turrets down, wait for them to actually kill the turrets, then you drop that little bomb, and then you can drop another turret if they're still up at that point. So you never actually are taking damage, and this is why you can do it even at level 1. You used to be able to take the knights. I guess now you still would be able to.
Yeah.
Because you can basically just use your turrets to tank them and then stun them, and then use your turrets to tank them again and stun them. So
yeah. Just this vicious circle of merc getting awesomeness.
And then there's other heroes that obviously don't have those options because they can't summon anybody, you know. And so unless they can do a bunch of AoE damage real quick, they're going to die before they can actually finish the job. Like Nova. So Nova was completely useless at this stuff. In a way, so I think we were talking on Skype, and I was saying, you know, if the minions or if the mercs are weaker, it's kind of like a nerf to Gazlowe. However, if it's harder to solo them, it's like a buff to Gazlowe because then, you know, people who can actually solo these camps are going to be much more valuable because some people won't be able to anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I just got to play a bunch of games and then we'll see.
Yep.
How did it feel to you playing a bunch of games?
Good. I mean, the game feels real solid. A lot of the heroes, like, I feel like the balance changes are good. I feel like a lot of the heroes are like they're getting to a point where they all feel viable. I don't feel like any of them are particularly weak. But yeah. I've also only had a day to play with this patch, so that's just kind of my raw reaction.
But just the mercs themselves, like, do you feel like this is a better place for them? Has it actually altered? Because, you know, they did feel really strong before. I like it if they're strong, but not like let's ignore the other parts of the map mechanics. Like, does that feel better?
I mean, it definitely has, because the knights are so much weaker now. Mm-hmm. You're going for objectives, but
sure.
I haven't decided if I like that or not. I lean towards I like having multiple avenues of victory.
Sure.
And with the knights being so hard, like so nerfed, I'm not sure. I liked that mechanic of like, let's get these guys, let's get the buff and let's push with it.
Yeah, I did too, because you could make a decision, like, we got the knights, should we ignore this tribute and just push with them, you know?
Right.
And I still think that's what you probably should do in a lot of cases, but it's less obvious now.
Like I said, I think it evens out because they are easier to get. So even if they don't do as much damage, it's you're still getting like a return on your investment because it takes a lot less time to take them down.
Yeah.
And capture them. So it's not bad. I'm just not sure if I'm in love with it.
I'm going to point out something that this is pre-strategy section, but I'm going to point out something when I'm playing Gazlowe and I'm gathering a bunch of merc camps early on. Mm-hmm. I want my team to be supporting the mercs as I get them because they're really strong early. If like one person can just go down with the giants and kind of keep the enemies from taking them down really fast, even just one guy can just kind of, you know, just bother people who are trying to go in and kill your giants or your knights. Just go in and just hit them a couple times, make them run off.
Feign aggression, just to make them think twice before fully engaging.
And it allows the giants to, you know, kind of maximize that early push. And it just makes a huge difference, especially early in the game when mercs are really powerful in comparison to the heroes, you know. So, you know, people who are playing with a Gazlowe, just think about that. You know, don't run off team fighting the whole time. Maybe say, hey, let's just push the lane with these giants for a second.
Yep. Unless the team fight is so big that the entire opposing team is involved in it and not paying attention to the mercs, then that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. If they're not laning and if they're out, you know, all roaming as a group, then for sure ignore that because the giants will push on their own.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like in that early phase while there's still laning going on, the giants will die before they can actually make a real, you know, solid dent unless somebody actually supports them. So, and then Gazlowe can somewhat support his own mercs, but it's better if he goes out and gets some more, you know, and just continues the like kind of building towards the snowball effect of gathering all the merc camps.
Yeah. Let's talk about some talent changes. Quite a few talents received changes. Berserk had the attack speed bonus reduced from 50 to 40%. They said this was to compensate for changes to hero attack speeds.
Okay.
Attack speeds were tweaked. Demolitionist, same thing. The ammo destruction was reduced from 2 to 1 per basic attack to compensate for the attack speed changes.
Yeah, all of this makes sense because, they increased the attack speed of basically everybody, right? So some of these things kind of became OP.
Right.
I definitely could tell because this is another demolitionist I actually choose a lot in Gazlowe.
Oh, if you're Gazlowe, I mean, if all you're doing is pushing lanes.
Yeah. So getting rid of all the ammo on the towers is a big deal. So, you know, and I was noticing, especially like later in the game, my attack speed gets insane, and I'm pulling back like all of their ammo like almost instantly. So I think this makes sense.
First aid, the healing amount is being increased from 20% over 4 seconds to 35% over 6 seconds. I never picked this talent, so I'm not surprised to see it getting a little buff.
Yeah, it just kind of sucked. So there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe now it's good.
Minion Killer now deals 25% additional damage to summons. This meaning, Zagara has a lot of what they call summons, which is any minion that a hero adds to the battlefield.
This is interesting.
I think your turrets count as summons.
Yeah. This is actually interesting because, I take this a lot with Gazlo as well, obviously, because it helps me kill merc camps faster. But now that means I'm like really good at taking down the Witch Doctor's big ulti.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to love it this week because, man, I have yet to be in a game where there hasn't been a Zagara on both sides. So you're going to be fighting a lot of roaches and hydralisks.
Well, there you go. Maybe I can help my buddies out a little more because I do feel when you take characters like that, you do feel a little useless when it comes to the actual fighting. So at least if I can have my niche being, kill the summons, there you go. Then I'll do that. And that's how I'll help my team.
And don't underestimate the value of clearing a lane from non-heroes. I mean,
absolutely, it's a big deal.
You get stuck in at a team fight, and a big wave of minions come, and it's in their favor. That can sway the battle. So if you're just melting those out of the way, okay, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Plus, honestly, man, I can't tell you how many. Sorry, continue.
No, I was just gonna say these are talents that make a lot of sense on certain heroes and don't on others. So it's nice because some of those heroes felt like a little inferior when it came to certain things. Right. And this is going to help them kind of, just be a little more solid. Yeah.
And I think you're not giving Gazlo enough team fight credit because I've been fighting against a lot of them recently. I don't know why, but there seems to be a big influx of Gazlo players. And his, his little charge up beam and his heroic ability where the big electrical dome and it sucks everyone in. That thing sucks. That can really make for a really good kind of shift in the momentum in a team fight.
They're hard to land though. Here's like they are really good when you can get the full power of them off. It's like when you get the Gravitron bomb, whatever it is, Grava bomb. I don't know. I just pick it.
Yeah.
When you get that thing to actually hit like 3 guys and your team is actually fighting, it sucks them all into the middle. It does a bunch of damage all at once, and it actually reloads pretty fast too. But the laser beam early on is like basically crap. You have to stand there and let it load for so long before you can actually make it useful. Later on though, it speeds up twice as fast, so it's really good then.
Yeah,
he's good.
There's also an upside to it because even if you're missing with it, you are controlling an area with it because anyone who knows what it does is going to avoid that area. So you can
get out.
You can direct heroes like away from an area you don't want them going near, like a Dragon Knight summon, for example.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing with Brightwing's. Oh man, it's Arcane, whatever. It's the big, really slow lobbing orb. It rarely ever hits, so you kind of use it to scare people out of a zone you don't want them in. Yeah. Anyways, the talent Regeneration Master. It now regenerates health. It's been increased from 3 to 4 per stack. So that's actually a nerf, I believe. I always forget how Regeneration Master works because I never take it.
I never take it either. I think I think
that's enough. Yeah, sorry,
it's a buff. Yeah,
it's a buff.
It was 3 before.
I was thinking it's the one where you have to actually pick up health globes, but I don't believe that's it.
Yeah.
And then Searing Attacks is the final talent to be getting changed. Its mana cost has been reduced from 20 to 15 per basic attack.
Okay.
Yep. Experience in snowballing. This is a big topic because the trickle down XP was a kind of highly contentious point of discussion for the past month. It's gone. There's no more kind of trickle down XP.
Yeah.
Well, let's just read exactly what they wrote here. The experience earned by killing minions in lane has been increased by 20%. So more incentive to kill some minions.
Laning is going to be more important now, like spreading out and actually laning early on.
Yep. Which is always good. Roaming. People on Blackheart's Bay.
Yeah.
Stop going for the watchtower.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's so dumb. It's a thing that's just still going on because like the first week of play, somebody thought it was the best way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's
This
still happening today.
You split off into 3 lanes. Whoever goes top plays super cautiously so he doesn't get mobbed by the 5 idiots converging on the tower. And then you're immediately ahead of the opposing team in XP because they're not killing any minions, let alone split into 3 lanes.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. Thank you. Continuing on.
Moving on.
Jen Plays says, but I want the watchtower. I do too. You know what you do when they split off in the lanes and play the normal game? You just go in there by yourself and you take it and no one tries to kill you.
Exactly. And honestly, that watchtower, what is it really telling you? It's telling you if people are going for the golem later. It's telling you if people are going for the upper chest later.
At
the beginning, it's not that big of a deal. It's really not.
And honestly, you can get to the top chest out of sight of it.
Yeah.
So it's not even telling you that much.
You can get to the golem out of sight of it too if you want to.
Yeah. I guess it's a good point. It's much more important later game than it is early game.
It really is. Yeah. At the beginning, it's really not that important. And I don't understand. It's just
early game. The lower half of the map is where all the action is because that's where the chest spawn and that's where you turn in.
Sure.
The tower is stupid. Stop going for it.
I basically always go bottom lane now on that map because I just know I'm going to avoid all of the bull crap. I'm just like, nope, I'm just going to stay away from it because I know it's going to turn into a mess up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, the trickle down experience is gone. So you're no longer going to see this like only 3 level deficit. You can see games with 4, 5, 6 level deficits.
Ooh. Okay.
It's uncommon, but it is possible.
Yeah.
What they are putting in place of the trickle experience is what they're calling the underdog bonus. They're saying that this is a early implementation. This is their first stab at it. It will probably be tweaked. Please, let them know what you think. But the way this underdog bonus works is a team that is behind in levels, quote, the underdog, now earns bonus XP whenever an enemy hero is killed, while a team that is ahead in levels receives XP for killing enemy heroes. Also, the amount of bonus takedown XP granted to the underdog team, as well as reduced takedown XP for the team that's ahead, scales significantly based on the level difference between the teams. So if you're ahead, you're getting less. If you're behind, you're getting more XP for just killing heroes. You're not getting more XP for taking down towns. You're not getting more XP or less XP for killing minions. This is all about team fighting, which I really like, actually.
It's, I'm not sure I like it yet, but I obviously need to play more. I think so. This was already kind of in the game, though, right? I mean, Kyle had given us this whole spreadsheet of what the kills are worth based on how much the level disparity is. So I'm assuming what this means is they upped it from that because it already existed.
It was already there, but I believe it was a lot less.
Yeah,
it wasn't the main catch-up mechanic because
the trickle.
The last month we've had the trickle. Before that, I think we had a similar thing to this. I'm not exactly sure how it worked because they didn't cite it here. What the difference between
they added the trickle, and now basically they've taken that away and then upped the difference between XP for if you're behind.
Right, and it's all just focused on getting hero kills.
But what they kind of detailed when there was a link like click here for more details about this, and when you clicked it, it was not more details really. It was just kind of an explanation of what they were going for, and the idea was if you're behind in levels, you have to as a team decide how you were going to make up that difference rather than just get force fed a buff, because that was what was happening with this trickle XP was. If you were behind, you were like, well, we're just going to get trickled some, whatever. It's cool.
Yeah.
And you could just continue on doing whatever you're doing, which means that maybe the better team was kind of at a disadvantage. And it was, it was kind of an unfair way to just boost the guy who's behind. So now you actually have to make a conscious decision. Okay, are we going to spread out and lane more? Is that how we're going to gain XP? Because now the minions are giving us more XP. Or are we going to all band together and really focus on winning a team fight? Those are really your option. Or are we going to try to kill, a tower or two?
Right.
So that's what it's going to come down to now. You can't just sit there and be like, "It's fine, guys. Don't worry. We're going to catch up just automatically."
Yeah. No, that That does not happen, and I'm okay with that. I love more decision making.
Sure.
Adding any extra layer of strategy, I think, is a good thing.
Yeah, and I think I would like to see some sort of cap on level difference, just because at a certain point it's just impossible to come back. But I don't really care. It's fine. If the game just ends much faster because one team is just so much worse than the other, that's also okay.
Yeah.
You know, in the end, that's fine.
I had a game like that today with a Lily who, on purpose, started AFKing, but moved just enough so she wouldn't be disconnected and let the AI take over.
Yeah.
So,
friggin' Lily.
Thanks, you jerk.
You know, Lily is actually more rage-inducing than Murky now.
Oh, yeah. She even got nerfed, and she's still impossible to kill.
Really?
I was still cussing the paint off the walls trying to kill Lilies today.
Yeah.
You
can't kill them. I mean, they nerfed the friggin' run speed thing when you hit them. It's still enough to get away every time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, in case you're wondering, there is a cap as to what a differential there will be in more XP for the underdog and less SP for the better team. It starts at a level 1 difference, but it caps off at a 4-level gap. So if you're 5 levels behind, you're not in any better scenario than you would have been if you were 4 levels behind.
You know, if you're 5 levels behind, you need to get good. That's what you need to
get good. You need to just yeah, I don't even know. I'm about to say some things that are not necessarily positive gaming thoughts. Just be like, you should just go sit in your fountain and end the game because that team is awful. No, don't do that.
We're a welcoming podcast.
It makes for bad experiences for everybody. Yep. So, anywho, there is that. Now we're getting into the meat, which is the hero changes, of which there are many. We're going to touch on a good amount of them. We're not going to touch on all of them. So if you want to see every single change to every single hero, obviously go check out the official patch notes if you haven't already.
Yeah, like who cares about what happened to the Barbarian? It was like 2 things. You know, we don't need to talk about that.
Exactly.
It's fine.
So all heroes now have flat attack speeds and no longer scale with level. So there you go.
Okay.
That was the attack speed change that they were talking about, and that's why certain talents got slightly nerfed. So that they're not just
Gazla
ridiculous.
was insane later on, dude. I was like a machine gun with my little wrench there, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It seemed weird.
Yeah. Basic attack damage has been adjusted for all heroes so that their damage output will remain the same as they were in previous versions of the game.
Okay.
And then, this is just mentioning what we already talked about, which was the abilities and talents that were adjusted for the attack speed. Getting into hero specifics, I was not going to get out of today without talking about Brightwing specifically, because that's the hero I have the most games logged on. Yeah, I'm biased.
And you can actually tell me now if this was a nerf, because we were discussing it before we played.
And I hadn't played yet. I have played quite a few games as Brightwing. I tore myself away from Zagara for like 3 or 4 games to try out some Brightwing. Also because I was playing on a team and everyone wanted to play Zagara. So I was like, fine, jerks, I'll play Brightwing.
Yeah, I'll let someone else do it. Fine.
Phase Shift, Brightwing's Z ability in place of her mount. If you're not familiar with it, this is the ability that allows her to just port on top of any friendly hero anywhere on the map. Has been nerfed. Its cooldown has been increased by a whole 10 seconds. It is now in a 30-second cooldown, which is freaking noticeable.
Yeah, it's like it's 50% weaker.
Well,
you got to wait a whole half the time, another half of the time.
Not 50%, but yeah. It was 20 seconds. Now it's 30. So
what I'm saying is it got nerfed by 50% of its previous amount. A whole 10 seconds. Half the time now.
Oh, I guess that is a good point. Math is hard. It's like it's a third, but no.
You could say it's 33%, or you could say it's 50%. I don't know which one's really correct. When we're talking about nerfs, I usually go the other
right, because it was additive, but it is still detracting from the positive, what you want, which is a lower time.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Point is, it takes longer to teleport. I'm sad. Blink heal, big time change. A lot of people are saying it's a nerf. I think I like it. It no longer restores health over time. And its 3-second duration is gone. So
obviously, if there's no health over time, there's no duration, right? So,
No, the 3-second duration was how long it lasted, I believe, just as a whole. Like you popped it, it started the cooldown, and I think you could just heal as much as you could click for 3 seconds.
Oh, really? I thought that it was like I click to you, you get health, and then you get heal over time for the next 3 seconds.
Maybe that's it, because it also had it must have been longer than.
I think
3
now
seconds.
it's just a base amount of healing all at once.
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah. And it's big. It's kind of it reminds me of healing with Uther. I don't know what the actual numbers are off the top of my head, but it's 250 health plus 15 per level to the target. So that's a big chunk.
It's still a
of
lot.
life.
Yeah,
that is a lot. The thing is, though, previously you would activate it with R. It would start a cooldown, a long ass cooldown, and you could blink heal as many times as you could in the given window, which I don't remember what it was.
It's like 50. It was like 15 seconds.
It was definitely longer than 3 seconds. You're right, and they don't say that here, but it now functions based on charges.
Yeah. I want to look up what the old version was, because basically I remember what I would do is I would pop it, and then basically for the duration of
just click the crap out of everybody.
All I was doing was clicking people. I was not doing anything else in between, really, because I didn't want to miss a single charge that I could get off.
Right.
You know?
I would also pop it just as an escape mechanism if I was about to die, but one of my buddies was further out of the zone of death.
Yeah.
Anyway, the way that the charges work is new charges generated every 8 seconds, but you can only have 2 charges stored at once. So if you're not using these, you're losing charges to a blink heal.
Yeah.
But the reason I like this now is I'm doing it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like, I'm not sure if I should use blink heal because then I'm going to be locked out for 120 seconds, and that's going to suck. So now it kind of, I feel like it fits with the way Brightwing plays, which is kind of small amounts of healing, but a lot of it over the course of an entire game.
Well, so when I thought about this and I initially looked at it, it looked like a nerf, right?
Right.
But the more I kind of considered it, the more I thought, no, this is actually really good for, like you say, the style of Brightwing, because and you actually would say this sometimes when we were playing. People would be like, dude, why aren't you healing me? And you're like, I don't have a heal unless I I just have this passive. That's it. I don't have another heal I can put on you.
That was
until I pop my ulti.
That was one moronic barbarian, but man, she was aggro.
But the thing is that you think of Brightwing as a healer, and yet Brightwing has no heal until she pops her little ulti.
Right.
Now you actually do have a heal consistently, so you can roam with like one person
if you pick,
help them out.
If you pick blink heal, you can you still pick the other one. Sure. But I still like blink heal a lot, and honestly, I think I like this change. I like becoming a more dedicated healer.
Putting this out there, blink heal is so good. I don't know what the other one is.
Agreed. I grabbed it on accident once.
Just said the other one.
The other one, yes. No, it's okay. Without having her Brightwing's hero detail page up on the screen, which I don't currently. I don't know what the other ultimate ability is.
Can't pull it off the top of your head, right?
No, I never use it. I always use blink heal. Yep. Now it is kind of a nerf if you want blink heal to be what it was previously, which could almost in itself be the deciding factor in a team fight. If there's a Brightwing and the Brightwing pops blink heal, there's so much healing being done, it's really hard for your team to die. That's no longer going to be the case, but you're going to get a lot more healing done over the course of an entire game with the way blink heal currently is now functioning.
Well, you're still going to be effective in a team fight because of the passive heal, and you'll get a couple of big heals off.
And you still have your pixie dust. Shield.
Yeah, and you're buffing people, you're polymorphing people, you're still doing all those utility things that you were doing before. It's just you're not doing that one thing where you just stopped doing everything else and just healed everybody.
Yeah. Brightwing is still, I think, a killer hero.
Yeah.
I don't think these nerfs really take away from her at all. Obviously, the blink heal change really is going to change up how you heal with her if you pick blink heal. But
it makes her more effective, though, in other situations. Like, let's say it's just me and you in the lane at the beginning, of like whatever.
Basically, anytime blink heal would have saved you, but I don't want to pop it because there's only one person around.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, me and you are just, pushing a lane with some giants or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, if, I'm some dude pops out of nowhere, you're not wasting a whole blink heal just to save me in that scenario. You're actually just helping me out, and we can maybe kill that guy.
I'm going to pretty much
and then
be using this.
Join the team fight.
Yeah, I'm going to be using it anytime it's off cooldown.
Pretty much.
And someone needs heal. I'm going to use it.
It's like, it reminds me of like Death Knight runes, like where you just use them just to use them because you don't want to waste them. Gotta use them.
Not a bad analogy. You can also, just by the way, you can up the charge capacity to a maximum of 3 if you spec into the Sarah's Blessing talent.
That's got to be the one you take all the time.
It's pretty freaking badass. Yeah, that's what I took. It was nice. So, anyways, enough about my my love affair with Brightwing. Move on to Kerrigan, which has been this is on a lot of people's radar. If you're over on the Heroes of the Storm Reddit or just on Twitter, a lot of people are talking about this because Kerrigan was more or less considered the strongest hero in the game, and she's been taken down a peg or two. Her assimilation, which is her trait that gives her a shield for attacking, the percentage of the shield you're getting has been reduced from 20% to 10% based on abilities.
Got it.
Yeah. And then Impaling Blades, the talent Impaling Swarm, which is the one I always took. If you don't know what it is off the top of your head, it's the one that spawns Zerglings when your Impaling Blades come up. The Zergling count has been reduced from 3 to 2, which makes me a little sad. But they run faster. Their speed has been increased from 3 to 5, so now they're Speedlings. If you're familiar with StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, they move a lot.
Good
faster.
stuff though. Yeah, it was time. She was really good.
And then Maelstrom, her heroic ability has had its duration reduced from 12 to 9 seconds, which is pretty. That's a big change.
Again, that's 25%.
Yeah, and that was the heroic ability I would always take, and I would argue all Kerrigans should have taken.
Yeah, no, I think so. But no, that's a big one. I mean, 3 seconds is a huge deal in this game. So when you knock 3 seconds or add 3 seconds to anything, it's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah. Lily has been nerfed, but she's still a total piece of crap. Don't worry, you can still play her. If you can hit Q, you're good. Her fast feet trait, the movement speed bonus, has been reduced from 20 to 15%. That is her trait that whenever she takes damage, she runs faster. You don't have to hit any buttons. Don't worry. No skill involved. No. Her healing brew has had its mana cost increased from 25 to 30.
I think we should change all the names of everything. So skill feet got reduced.
Skill feet.
Yeah. Skill brew got nerfed a little bit. Yeah.
Hate mail from Lily fans. No, the mana costs more, 5 more mana, and the mana restoration scaling no longer exists.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud Serpent has
Skill Serpent.
You do actually have to click on someone to apply the Cloud Serpent. It's the one targeted ability she has. Yeah. Its base damage has been decreased from 20 to 15. The damage gain per level has been increased from 3 to 4. The Lightning Serpent, which is a talent modifier for Cloud Serpent, has had its damage decreased from 7 to 5, and the damage gain per level increased from 1 to 1.33. That's an ugly number.
Okay.
Look like we're getting into StarCraft here.
So it scales. It starts. It scales differently now. But that's whatever.
It does. It's better later in the game, which is fine.
Yeah.
Blinding Wind had its cooldown.
Blinding skill. Yeah.
Cooldown reduced from 12 to 10. So that actually got a little buffed, which I hate Blinding Wind. I hate missing. It's the worst feeling in the world. And then Jug of 1,000 Cups. AKA win button. Cooldown increased from 50 to 70 seconds. The healing gain per level has been reduced from 96 to 72. That's significant.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And the mana restoration scaling has also been removed, just like the healing brew. So yeah, a significant nerf to Lily, but I gotta say, she's still super strong.
Yeah, I mean, she was really ridiculous. And you started to see Lily in more games than not, and that's kind of a sign that something needs to change, right?
Yeah.
So
I've still seen her more than any other healer, and since the patch, I played a lot of games last night and today.
Well, the next hero though has been buffed, so maybe you do a little combination.
Oh yeah, let me talk about Mr. Malfurion. Malfurion was actually the first hero I played when the patch went live because I got in with our buddy Jay, and he claimed Zagara for his own. So I was like, well, I read the changes in Malfurion, and he sounds kind of awesome. Let me give him a try. And he is awesome. Regrowth, the Harmony talent, Casting regrowth on minions and mercenaries now instantly returns 100% of the mana cost.
So remember when I was talking about supporting the mercs that Gazlo gets? If you're Malfurion,
get on it.
Go out there and heal them giants, man. Keep them going.
Get on it. You get your mana back. It's a free heal.
Free heals. Yeah, free heals on mercs.
I've been taking this, and it definitely helps with a push.
It's cool, man. That's a really cool idea.
Fun talent. He got a new talent at level 13 called Life Seed, which I love this. Nearby damaged heroes now automatically gain regrowth heal over time effect. The effect has a 15-second cooldown.
So this is a passive, right? Like you don't do anything. It just
you heal somebody, and there's another hero close that's damaged.
Yeah,
instantly gets this hot placed on him. But
proximity. Is it only when you actually cast regrowth, or is it?
I believe it's when you cast it.
Okay, because the way the wording makes it sound, it just makes it sound like if I'm near a damaged hero, it's like without doing anything, just regrowth gets.
Well, it's a talent to regrowth. It's a modifier to regrowth itself.
Okay, so basically, just like it's like regrowth cleave almost.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to put it. It's really a really cool effect. I like it a lot. Moonfire, the lunar shower talent, it now stacks. The stacks now decay at a rate of 1 per second after the 8-second countdown has expired, rather than all at once. This is actually a good thing.
Jen Play says you don't cast it. It just happens.
It really?
Yeah, so every 15 seconds it's just a free heal.
So he turns into Brightwing.
yeah, just a passive heal. Yeah, that's awesome.
I thought it happened when you casted regrowth. Okay.
That's amazing.
I guess it would make sense why it has the 15-second cooldown. Thank you, chat room. Sorry. Entangling Roots got some changes. It has a new level 7 talent called Strangling Vines, which doubles the damage dealt by Entangling Roots.
Okay.
Just call them like Barbed Roots or something. And a new talent at level 16 called Tenacious Roots, which summons Jack Black in the middle. And Kyle Gass. No. It increases.
Jack Black and Questlove just get summoned like right in the middle.
Wonder Boy starts playing.
Tenacious Roots. Yeah.
It increases the area of effect and duration by 25%. Enemies caught in the area of effect are rooted for an additional 0.5 seconds. So
that's huge, man. That's actually because there's a certain point where I don't really take any of the talents when I play Malfurion to increase the effectiveness of my rooting because it just kind of does what it does. The little treant thing is fine, but there's better stuff in that talent selection.
I like the treant. I like the treant a lot.
Yeah, the problem is it doesn't do as much as some of the other stuff you get to pick there. So, but now I mean this is gonna make this is like one of those things where I can maybe get 3 heroes trapped in a big team fight and they're gonna be trapped for a long time. And
I mean honestly, Entangling Roots, while it is slow to snag, it's a big area already.
Yeah.
So increasing that by 25%, like damn, that's a huge area.
That's awesome.
And again, if it doesn't land, it's still space control.
Yeah.
It's still,
still moves people out of something.
Exactly. And then the last hero I really want to dig into because he had a lot of changes is Murky. He's a ton of changes.
Boo.
He is now revealed at his current location. His current location will be pinged on the minimap for 10 seconds following the death of his egg. So he is a marked man.
Huge. That's crazy because it's like, have you seen this yet? Is it consistently pinging the map for 10 seconds? Where he is as he
don't
moves?
feel like I've noticed it.
Okay. Because when it says pinged for 10 seconds, it sounds like it's just going to continuously follow Murky around. Because the thing is, you kill the egg, you also got to kill Murky to really make it stick.
Right.
Otherwise Murky just puts another egg down.
Exactly. That's how you get him to actually experience a res timer.
Yeah. So that's a really big deal. That's going to change everything about Murky right there. Just that one thing would be enough.
Yep. Killing Murky now awards 25% of the normal experience amount earned by killing another hero.
So that's more than it used to be.
Yes,
I'm guessing.
That's a significant chunk. I mean, you kill him 4 times, it equals 1 hero kill. Think about how many times in a game you kill a Murky if you're playing against a Murky.
It actually means that the way to combat Murky might just be let Murky do his thing and just continue to kill him, and put somebody on him because you're going to be getting an XP. Basically a big advantage in XP if you just let them run in there and die.
Yeah. That being said, his egg now awards 50% of the normal experience earned by killing a hero. And that's, a hero kill of something that doesn't fight back.
Yeah. So but now I don't even know what the egg did originally as far as experience. Because I thought it was that if you killed the egg, it was then Murky was suddenly now worth 100%. But I don't know. I never paid enough attention.
I don't think that was the case. I think the whole reason you wanted to kill him after killing the egg was that he actually gives a res timer.
Just the res timer.
He's off the battlefield for, like any other hero.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the XP was what it was, no matter what. His slime ability got a ton of changes. Its duration's been reduced from 8 to 6 seconds. The damage over time has been increased from 5 to 7. He has a new talent called Slime Advantage at level 13, which increases the basic attack damage against targets affected by slime by 50%.
Okay.
That's huge.
That is.
You're going to see a lot of team fighting Murkies.
Murky will actually be effective in a team fight now.
Yeah, which I think is actually a good thing, because that's one of the things I don't like about having a Murky on my team. Is I'm like, well, great, in team fights we have 4 heroes. Yeah.
No, it's very true. It's going to change the way... all of this is going to change the way how people play Murky. They're going to suddenly be more involved with the team.
Right. He's got another new slime talent at level 16 called Master of Slime, which increases its duration by 2 seconds, which brings it back up to its original duration before the nerf of 8 seconds. And Slime now deals increased damage upon reapplication, so you can kind of stack it.
Okay.
No, well, I guess not stack. I guess if you apply it to the same hero more than once.
Yeah.
Reapplication makes me think like it falls off, but the new version of it does more damage.
Or that you reapply while it's still there, maybe? I don't know. Again, I'll have to play with it.
Right. Pufferfish, the explosion delay has been reduced by an entire second. It's now 4 seconds long. So gotta kill those things even faster.
Yeah, it's
the
a buff.
Damage has been increased from 87 to 90. Not a lot, but noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
The damage gain per level, however, was reduced from 13 to 10. So
it starts stronger, gets weaker over time.
Yeah, well, not weaker over time, but weaker than it was.
Scale's definitely.
Yeah, scale is less potent over time than it used to be. And it also has a new talent at level 16 called Compressed Air. This will be the same rank as Master of Slime, that other new talent. It increases the pufferfish.
What?
Pufferfish.
The puffer what now?
Area. Yeah, pufferfish. The puffer shit. That's what I call it. Someone kill that puffer shit. It increases the area of effect by 50%. It's a big ass blast radius.
That is. That's a giant puffer shit right there.
Puffer shit. We have the name of this episode. Oh God, you're killing me now. Surrender has a new level 1 talent called Bubble Breeze. Murky gains 20% increased movement speed throughout Surrender's duration. So you didn't like him bubbling and moving before? You're gonna hate it even more now. He's just gonna bubble and move faster.
Blast through everything, yeah.
Yep. Octo Grab. You might actually get it now. The cooldown has been reduced by an entire 15 seconds. It's only on a 30-second cooldown now. That's a pretty fast-firing heroic ability.
That is. Well, it needed to be something because no one was taking it. So.
It needed to be something.
Yeah. The March of the Murlocs was the only thing that got taken. So.
Yeah. March of the Murlocs had a cooldown increase from 80 to 100 seconds. That's significant. The slow amount has been reduced from 15 to 10% per stack. Thank you so much. The maximum slow amount has been reduced from 90% to 70%. It was 90% before. Holy crap. That's crazy. No wonder.
Yeah, you were basically stuck in place.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, man. That's just ridiculous. Murloc's movement speed has been decreased by 25%, so they're not going to gain on you as fast. And the casting width has been increased, but the number of Murloc spawned is unchanged.
Okay.
So that's cool. They said specifically, they actually, there was a dev interview specifically talking about the Murky changes because there were so many. And they were saying that they like March of the Murlocs, but they wanted to make it less attractive for team fights and more attractive for structure attacking.
Okay.
And I think they've accomplished it here.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty good.
It's still going to be good for team fights. I mean, 70% reduced movement speed if you get all the a maximum stack. It's still a lot.
Yeah. But the width being increased means that it's going to be able to hit more stuff.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yep. Some good stuff. So, like we said, a lot more hero changes. Some major, some quite minor. I know our buddy D-Day is really stoked because Ilina got buffed. His basic attack was scaled from... the basic attack scaling has been increased from 6 to 7. So he gets a lot more painful the longer the game goes on.
Yeah. And that was actually... It's funny because everything else just got renamed. There was no other, buffs. They were just like, no, this is all that was missing from Illidan was just scaling.
Yeah.
Everything else was just like, yeah, we renamed it. We renamed.
There's a lot of naming. Yeah. Tassadar got super overhauled. They gave him Storm. So
yeah.
Never say.
We just talked about this.
Yeah. Never say Into the Nexus doesn't get results.
That's true. we say we need it. They deliver.
I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there was no one else there that was just like, hey guys, I play a lot of StarCraft. Why doesn't this High Templar have Storm?
Yeah. And they actually changed the Twilight Messiah to Archon, which makes way more sense.
Because that's what everyone calls it anyway.
Yeah, what the hell? I was like, Twilight Messiah, I don't even know what that is.
Kyle made
it's an Archon.
Kyle made a really good point. What the hell? Who is he Archoning with, though? Because in the game, two dudes and Archon. But
he's Archoning with his stealth buddy that we never see.
Yep. So... like we said, go check out the notes if you want to see what all the changes to everybody else, because it seems like no one was untouched. But those are the ones we really wanted to talk about. I believe Gazlo was untouched, though. Speaking of
untouched, completely untouched.
He was untouched. Yeah. When I just said almost no one was untouched. Gazlo, Dill's current favorite hero. Not messed with, really, at all.
No, but I mean, some of the stuff affected him because of the attack speed things and all that kind of stuff. So everybody got touched a little bit just by those general changes.
Yep. It's good stuff. Let's talk about Zagara for our strategy section because she's the new hero.
We've been waiting for her
seems
forever.
like everyone's playing her. I've been so excited for Zagara. Of all the heroes that have been announced to be released, since the game. The alpha went up. Zagara was the one I was actually excited for. I wasn't excited for Brightwing. I ended up loving her. Wasn't excited for Lily. Ended up not liking her. Wasn't excited for Murky. Ended up not liking him. But I was really stoked for Zagara. And she delivered. This has got to be, honestly, this might be my StarCraft fanboy coming out, but this has got to be the most fun hero I've ever played in any MOBA.
It's pretty cool.
I'm having a lot of fun with her.
I really liked when I did play Zerg. I really liked the queens. Now I get to play one, so
yeah, you get to play a super queen.
Yeah, I used to be. I know that maybe that wasn't the correct thing, but I used to build a lot of those when I would play as Zerg.
They're good.
Yeah, they are
They're
good.
Really good.
That's how you inject the larva or whatever the hell it is.
That's exactly what they do. They inject larvae so you can make more things, and they make creep tumors.
But then they were also fairly decent at just defending the base. They could actually do some damage. So.
The only thing you have that can hit air in your early game is Zerg.
Yeah. Yeah. So I used to actually make a ton of those early on.
Yep. And they can heal. And there's been so many wacky, Korean strategies where people push with Ultralisks and Queens, and they have the Queens heal the Ultralisks because there's no medevac for Zerg. And this is getting too much into StarCraft talk. Play StarCraft, everyone. It's a really fun game. It's hard, but it's really fun.
It's really hard. I suck at it.
Go listen to the back catalog of StarCast if you want to hear me talk about StarCraft.
Or the Cadillac, either one.
Or the Cadillac. I can't talk tonight. Told you, up too late, playing Zagara. Mm-hmm. Can't talk. All right, so let's talk about her abilities.
What does she do?
Her Q ability, her bread and butter, is the Baneling Barrage. This freaking move, man. She just, cannon fires out just a stream of Banelings. They just roll in front of her in a straight line, and they explode on contact with enemies, and they have, a splash damage radius.
Do they have a range? Because it seems like they just go until they hit something.
They do have a range. As a matter of fact, one of the level 1 talents is to get increased range on your Banelings.
Okay. Because
it's a long range,
doing it, the skill shot indicator goes outside of the screen. So I couldn't tell.
It doesn't go outside of the screen. It does have an end. The banelings do continue rolling a little bit past the skill shot indicator, though.
Okay.
They'll go a little farther, I believe, but it's a long range attack, and if you get the talent, it's just absurd.
Yeah. And it's awesome, and it does a lot of damage too.
Yep. I love like angling it like right in the corner between like a tower and the wall, so you're getting like maximum damage on both structures.
Yeah, shoot. Like I noticed just from messing with her a little bit that like pushing through towers and walls was pretty simple. Oh, didn't take much at all.
Yeah, Zagara is a hardcore lane pusher. Like she can do some serious damage if left unattended. So Baneling Barrage, awesome move. Hunter Killer is her W ability, and what it does is it just instantly spawns a Hydralisk that just starts attacking and chasing your target.
You pick a specific target for this.
Yeah, and it disappears. If that target dies, it just goes away. It doesn't stay up for its duration.
No, it's a singularly focused Hydralisk.
And this thing hurts. If it's on you, your best bet is to just try and run out of range of it and let its duration, kind of peter out. Because fighting against Zagara today as like Arthas or Brightwing, just trying to sit there and just face tank it sucks because it's up for a while, and there's a talent later on that makes it do more damage, and it can really put the.
How easy is it to kill? Because I haven't played against it yet.
It goes down relatively quick.
Okay.
But the problem is when we get into Infested Drop, the next ability, she's spawning also roaches on top of that. So it's just all this crap on top of probably, just regular minions. She can kind of overwhelm me with numbers.
Yeah.
It feels so Zerg-like.
No, it's cool. It's like, here's some Banelings. Here's a Hydralisk. Here's some more stuff. Roachlings. What? You're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Get off me.
Yeah. So anyway, the Infested Drop, which is the E ability, it just... You call in a Zerg drop pod. The pod itself does damage where it lands, and then it spawns 2 roaches that just start attacking whatever happened to be around it. Mm-hmm. There's a level 1 ability that makes you spawn 3 roaches, which this is one I've been taking the most because it really helps me solo mercs. It's 1 extra target for the mercs to wail on.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I've been soloing the Golem on Haunted Mines.
Wow.
It's been wonderful.
That's awesome.
Like the timer will be at like 15 seconds. I'll go down early, just run straight to where the Golem's going to spawn and just take it out before anyone else goes into the mines.
That's crazy. That's really cool.
If you see Saint playing Zagara, forget I said that.
Yeah. Pay no attention.
Pay no attention to the man named Saint playing Zagara. He totally isn't going to go try and steal your Golem kill. And then her trait, which is her D ability, which you have to activate, it's not passive, is called Creep Tumor. And if you've played StarCraft 2 Zerg, you know what a Creep Tumor does. It does exactly that. It spawns creep, which whenever Zagara is on it, she and her minions move faster, and she regenerates health faster.
Yeah, and she has a talent later on that means it's even faster and more health too. So
yep.
This is the other thing. So you're talking about how she can push a lane really well. The other thing that she can do is, if properly spawning creep, if somebody decides to stop your lane push, you can get away.
Get the hell out of dodge so fast.
Yeah. So, and I noticed it's really noticeable how fast you go on the creep. So it's one of those things. It's again like playing Zerg in StarCraft. There's a lot of stuff to think about, to properly do it.
Yep.
So you got to make sure you're remembering to drop your creep. But
I had someone teasing me today, like, "Damn, someone plays StarCraft," because I had so many creep tumors.
So much creep. Yeah. Now I also haven't played against Zagara yet because I only did the little test thing. But are the creep tumors targetable? You can kill them.
Once they get up, I don't believe they are targetable, but any AOE will kill them.
Okay. Because I noticed that like the creep lasts a really long time, but you do have to reapply it at some point.
It's like 200 and something seconds. Yeah, they last forever.
Yeah. So you can really just cover a lane and creep as you're pushing down it, and then just like someone's chasing you, just see you later.
Yeah, and even if I haven't like made a successful lane, I'll still drop one when I stop to fight, just so it gives me a little more health regen.
Yeah. What's funny is when I first started playing StarCraft, I couldn't get over the fact that creep was just a buff to the Zerg, but didn't like kill me. I was like, this seems like it's supposed to kill me, to be honest. Like, this looks gross that I'm standing on this stuff.
You can't build on it, so it is detrimental to you in that way.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
You can More StarCraft talk. You can fly an Overlord over a mineral patch and start dropping creep, and they can't expand there.
Oh, dude, that's
until
awesome.
Until you chase the Overlord away and the creep dissipates.
Strategy section for StarCraft.
For StarCraft. This is going to happen, by the way, every time a StarCraft hero is added.
Exactly. Yeah, come on. This is Heroes of the Storm. We're going to talk about Diablo. We're going to talk about World of Warcraft. We're going to talk about StarCraft. It's just going to happen.
This is our celebration of all things Blizzard, because I believe Heroes of the Storm is Blizzard's celebration of all things Blizzard.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, shit, man, we're going to have Lost Vikings in there. I've never even played that game.
What?
I won't be able to make references because I've never played it.
I'm going to have to play it now. See.
We haven't talked about Zagara's heroic abilities yet, which are pretty sweet. They're both pretty good, although I'm definitely favoring one over the other. The first one is the Nidus Network. She places a Nidus worm, and she can use them to quickly traverse the battleground. So you'll need 2 of them to actually utilize them. This isn't I doubt a lot of our listeners play a lot of StarCraft for some reason. I'm doubting that, but who knows? In StarCraft, you get in the Nidus Network beginning, and then you pick where you want your Nidus Worm to pop up. In this, you just place 2 Nidus Worms or 4. You can have up to 4 on the map, and you go in one somewhere, and you can go to any of the other ones that are placed.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is I've been dropping one in the main base, and then I'll put 2, one top lane, one bottom lane, one middle lane, and that way when I get low on health, I can just hearth, and then I can immediately get back in the fight.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. Now, how long do these Nidus worms last?
They last, I'm pretty sure, indefinitely. They only go away if they're killed, or if you place a 5th one. I believe the first one you place goes away.
Okay,
that's the thing. I'm not exactly sure. I've been trying to get a good feel for it, but it's the heat of battle, and I'm not noticing why my Niduses are disappearing.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've seen them straight up, attacked and killed by enemy heroes. Because that's one way to deal with them. As a matter of fact, you should do that, because leaving a Nidus up just gives Zagara way too much freedom.
Yeah, and is there a cooldown on traveling through the Nidus worms, or?
Yeah, it's X amount of seconds to get in, and then X amount of seconds to get out. Getting out is a lot faster than getting in, but getting in is way faster than hearthing.
Is there a cooldown on it? Once I do it once, do I have to wait?
No, you can immediately just jump right back in.
I can just go back in and go back down. Yeah, so I can come up to the middle lane and then be like, never mind, I'm going back down.
Yep.
That's cool. Yep. Okay.
And it kind of works on a charge, I believe, much like we were talking about the changes to Brightwing. You start off, you have 2. So you could place 2 back to back, and then you incur a really long kind of timer, cooldown before you can place a 3rd and a 4th. But I love Nidus Network, man. It is so much fun. You can get so much map control. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Her other heroic ability is called Devouring Maw, and it summons a giant maw, whatever a maw is, to engulf enemies in the area, which disables them and damages them. It's good. It's really cool because it basically takes a hero out of the fight for a significant amount of time. But also careful, because I've done it to heroes that were almost dead, and it saved them when otherwise if I had just left them up, the team could have killed them.
Yeah. Okay. Now, do you take this? Have you taken it?
I have.
Much?
I prefer Nidus Network.
Yeah, I think because the thing is, when I was playing Zagara just briefly, I felt like I had plenty of damage. That wasn't the issue, right? Yeah. So mobility to me seemed like that was going to be such a huge deal. Damage was fine. So.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be scenarios where maybe your team's a little low on just,
just burst damage, just able to do stuff.
Yeah, just anything that gives you an edge in a team fight. You don't have enough damage dealers. You don't have enough, kind of battle tricks, for lack of a better word. Maybe you'll take Devouring Maw.
Okay. The thing is, in this game, the fact that you can choose ultis kind of lends itself to looking at your team comp and just making a decision at some point in the game. It's great because there's a lot of times where your comp is all that matters, but in this game your comp can be adjusted, which is awesome. It's amazing. I can play all these heroes in multiple different ways. You can't really do that in a lot of MOBAs. You kind of like are stuck with this is how this hero plays, you know?
Yeah.
So the comp is everything.
Yeah. I've played myself a lot of Dota, and that's more or less the case.
Yeah. Well, I'm incredibly excited to get some Zagara time in. I immediately bought her. By the way, there was a change in prices, the gold prices for a lot of heroes, wasn't there? I noticed some 10,000 heroes went down to like 7,000.
Oh, was there? Huh.
I know we didn't talk about it, but.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed that entirely.
Because there was a few heroes I didn't have previously that I know were 10,000, and now they're 7,000.
Well,
so
awesome.
Yeah, dig that.
Bring it on.
You can't. You also, we should point out, you can't purchase anything with real money currently.
At the moment, yeah, it's down. I mean, by the time the podcast goes up, who knows? That may have changed.
Yeah.
But
they didn't like put a timetable on that.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, this sucker was down all day yesterday. So,
yeah. But it's important to note,
right?
That for the moment, you cannot purchase anything with real money. So save that gold.
Yeah, absolutely. So more or less, that's Zagara. Player tonight,
She's
dude.
awesome.
You're gonna have a good time.
I think everyone's doing it, but we'll reiterate: play Zagara.
Yeah,
just do it.
Just do it, man. So you know what you got to do? Don't play with friends for a little bit. It's like,
yeah.
I had
You'll be fighting over who gets to do it.
I had some really good games with my buddies last night, but I didn't get to play much Zagara. There was always someone who wanted to play. But
yeah.
Anywho, let's take a couple of emails before we end this show. Emails, you can send them to itncast@gmail.com. Our first email today comes to us from Clochapas. This is my best attempt at pronouncing that. They write, "Hello, I just got an invite, and after trying the different role types, I want to play a support role. So my question is, which is the best support hero?" Oh, is that all you're asking for? Who's the best? Well,
that's quite a question.
That's a loaded question. We've been getting a couple questions like this. We had a tweet earlier, someone asking, what hero should I spend my gold on? Who's the best? And it's just like, I don't feel like that's like a question that can really be answered. Oh, here it is. Corey Ernst on Twitter asked, "Is Arthas worth the purchase?" What I think you should do is you should try out the heroes and see which one you like the most.
Yeah.
When the game first came out, I couldn't have been more excited for Arthas. I bought him, and I hated him. But then we had the patch a month ago, and now he's one of my favorite heroes. I think he's great.
Well, he's actually fine now because they fixed him.
Right.
But, yeah.
And like I said earlier, I feel like the game's getting to the point where all of the heroes are more or less viable, that we don't have this oh man, Muradin is just so weak. That's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
Kerrigan just got nerfed. She's no longer super strong, so strong to the point where why would you play a different assassin? It's not the case. She's been brought in line with everyone else.
The heroes are fairly even as far as you can do well or poorly with any of them at this point. I will say I would say the easiest support to play is Lily.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
So, if you just want something where it's you can get in there and immediately be effective, that's probably a good way to go. But I really like Malfurion's style. I'm not going to say that's the best, but I really like Malfurion's style of being able to kind of heal and then move on to doing something else rather than kind of always be concentrating on the healing. But Brightwing, I think, was my absolute favorite support.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it if you haven't played MOBAs before, it really comes down to play style. There's a lot of heroes that fill a similar role, but that play completely different, and I think it's going to come a lot down to what you prefer. Yeah. Tyrande is a good kind of hybrid. She can put out damage, but she can still heal.
Yeah, but I gotta say, I feel like Tyrande is hard to play.
She is.
It took a lot of time figuring out how to actually hit all these.
There's a crap ton of skill shots. Her passive now needs to be activated. Although D-Day and I lane together. I was Tyrande, he was Tychus, and that her mark makes you do 25% more damage on a target. Combined with Tychus's damage output, it was just ridiculous. No one could touch us.
Yeah. But if you just want to support, I really think Malfurion may be the way to go, because doing things like innervating means that you're just really, really you're really supporting. Like
and you can't even
lane
innovate.
up with an assassin, and that assassin just doesn't run out of mana.
Yeah, and you can't even innovate yourself. So you have no reason not to constantly be casting it on whatever teammate doesn't have mana at the time.
Yeah, and it's like you're always thinking about how to help your teammate when you're playing as Malfurion. It just kind of it's so supportive that hero.
Chat room is just like, well, they're all good.
Yeah,
I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. You should play them and figure out what kind of support you want. Do you want someone with like an escape mechanism? Do you want someone who can just kind of throw down? Because as far as just throwing down, I think you should go like Uther. He can just he's kind of like a pseudo tank because his main heal is so beefy, and then he can also just smack people in the face and stun the crap out of them.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So it really depends. My vote goes for Brightwing. I like being highly mobile, and I like having a lot of combat tricks, which Brightwing does. But yeah, Malfurion, I'm loving him now. He's all these new changes. He's great. He was good before. He's even better now.
Yeah.
So yeah, play it, see what you like. As the guy on Twitter, I think Arthas is worth it, but play around with the other heroes. Barbarian got big time buffed. She has a crap ton of lifesteal now. I've been really wanting to try her out. You might like her better. Who knows?
Who knows? The good news is they have the free rotation. You get to try them all.
Yeah.
Collect them all.
You want to take the second email?
Sure. Is this from the same person?
It is not from the same person. I messed up the name.
Okay. I was going to say, I was like, okay. We just aren't getting a lot of emails then, huh?
I tried to delete it before you asked questions, but it didn't.
Well, you'll have to add the name in if you can figure out who this is. But this question is
from Mike.
Directed to me, it looks like, so that's cool. It's been real exciting listening to Dill's recent love fest for Gazlo. It is a love fest.
And it continued into this episode.
Yeah. As he is, for some reason, the hero I immediately was drawn to in this game. I was wondering if Dills has any suggestions on different ways to play Gazlo, because so far I almost always end up following the same talent build. It goes Break It Down, Minion Killer, Turret, XL, Gravel Bomb, Quick Release Charge, Turret Storage, or sometimes Long Range, Mini Black Hole. This works awesome as a Merc Camp build and lets you occasionally do something in team fights with Black Holes. But it seems like the only way to play him. I really like Gazlo and his voice acting is awesome. But using the same build over and over is starting to get a little stale. Any suggestions for something a bit more creative? Also, as a secondary question, do you worry that certain characters will always end up being played the same way, or that there will end up being a correct way to play certain characters, or that is just par for the course in MOBAs? We'll answer your second question first. No, I don't think so. I think everyone's going to have their take on these heroes, which I think is one of the strengths of this game.
I think it's going to depend on your composition.
Yeah, but like we just said, if I walk into a game and I'm solo queuing and I look around at my composition and I say, okay, this team's really going to need somebody to fill this role, I can then choose to fill that role. And as long as you understand the hero you're playing well enough to understand how to do that, how to effectively change to make that happen, it's it's going to be really, really cool to make those decisions on the fly as you play. So.
Exactly. But as the game matures and we get past alpha, past beta into the game being live, and we have pre-mades going against pre-mades. I think that's really going to obviously change it. There will be this to a point, but like I said, I think it's going to really depend on your team's composition.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So I'll go ahead and tell you how I generally build Gazlo. I generally I do it way different than you. So it's obviously lots of ways to play characters. I usually take Demolitionist, actually, because my role as Gazlo is more to run around by myself and effectively help the team. And, I do join the team fights, but oftentimes I'm kind of off doing something that's helping the team out. And I really like Demolitionist because once I grab Merc Camps, I can then go and support my own Mercs by, knocking out the structures a little bit more and taking the ammo off of them. Which really helps. Plus, if you kind of move around the map and you do it to a few different, it helps the early pushes especially, where you're still getting through those towers. So I actually take that usually. Break It Down, I think, is a fine choice though, because it does help you grab the Merc Camps. I do go with Minion Killer next because I think that's really, really good. It's obviously so the minions, the Mercs, and now the summons. I take Rocket Turret XL. I believe that's the same one that he said he took, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That's just the easy choice here. It's so damn good. Although now maybe First Aid if you realize that your team is light on support characters. you know. Or if the other team has a Murky, you might take the Mule. It's up to you. But I think that the turrets hitting 2 additional targets is so damn good that
I don't think I'd ever take first aid as Gazlo.
Yeah, but you know they just made it. It was buffed, so who knows? Maybe it's better now. I don't know. I mean, 35% of max health over 4 seconds. That's a lot. It's a lot of health. So you can suddenly be like a support character as well a little bit. Gravel Bomb I definitely do take because I feel like Gazlo is a little weak in the team fighting department, and Gravel Bomb absolutely helps that. Whereas Robo Goblin, you're only increasing your ability to push lanes by yourself. Really, that's all you're able to do. You can kill minions, mercs, and structures better before, but it doesn't. All it does is reduce the crowd control effect of, you know, that's the only thing it's going to do to help you in a team fight, which is nobody's really crowd control. Like, they're not really CCing Gazlo. I'll just put that out there. They're going to want to CC your assassins and stuff. So I think Gravel Bomb is definitely the correct choice. I take quick release charge here.
So to see.
It's just really good. It helps you kill the merc camp so much better. You get 2 of them. But here we differ. He says he takes the long range turrets or the turret storage, right?
He says he takes turret storage. Oh, no,
okay.
No, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Or long range
sometimes
turrets,
long range.
yeah. I feel like the turret storage, you know, I can actually put 4 turrets out or whatever. I don't feel like I feel like I burn too much mana dropping a bunch of turrets like that. And I feel like Death Laser is so crappy that I want to take hyper focus coils, and my Death Laser charges twice as fast. So suddenly I'm actually able to, it's again a way to help me in team fights. I'm able to actually get that Death Laser off much faster and be a little more useful. So the turrets are still really good. So I felt like buffing them wasn't doing as much as buffing an ability that was kind of weak to begin with, you know. And then depending on what's going on at the end, I'll either take, if we're in like a lot of team fights, and that seems to be what we're doing, the Black Hole is definitely the way to go because it makes your Gravel Bomb much better. Yeah. But if we're behind and I need to be, or if I feel like my role at that point is just running around by myself, I take Resurgence of the Storm or Swift Storm because, so if I'm running around by myself a lot, Swift Storm means that I can get to everything faster. Resurgence of the Storm means that if we're kind of losing, and, you know, I need to be, like, I'm back up immediately. Yep. So it depends. But Black Hole is usually the choice there, depending on what's going on. So, yeah, I mean, we're not far off, but I definitely don't think that he's the only, like, that's the one true build for Gazlo. And that's not the way it works for any hero, I don't think.
No.
So, yeah.
No, I
but good, man. Let's talk some Gazlo at some point, you know? Me and you will compare Gazlo notes.
Yeah. Thanks for your emails, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we know who that was?
That was from listener Mike.
Listener Mike. All right, Mike. Good talking Gazlo with you, brother.
Sorry about messing up the names. So, anyways, that brings us to the end of this beefy episode. I'm so sad Kyle wasn't here to talk about the new Zerg hero. Because not only is he the biggest MOBA player on the show, he is the hardest of hardcore Zerg players I know. So, Kyle, I hope somewhere that you, your U-Haul, and the cat that's probably sitting on your lap as you drive across the country are having a good time.
Me too. if you listen to this.
Yes. He's probably listening to it right now going, Zagara came out? Ah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, God, we need to pull over and find somewhere to plug my laptop in.
Actually, I sent him a text this morning. I was like, dude, Zagara's so good. And that's exactly what he goes, really? They would put her out the day I'm on the road.
But I'm sure he's gonna have a little bit of hotel time, a little hotel Wi-Fi, you know.
Yeah, there's nothing better than hotel internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I moved to LA.
It's always good.
I moved to LA trying to get in on my old WoW raids back when I did that. Oh, that did not work well.
No, I've tried to raid from the road too. This is what's great about Hearthstone is that you could totally play Hearthstone on hotel Wi-Fi. You could totally do it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's saved me from dying of boredom when I went away for Thanksgiving last year.
Yeah,
I did.
It's the perfect like on the road game.
I did the Coverville Coverthon with you. We did like a impromptu Angry Chicken, and I played a bunch of Hearthstone.
Yeah,
from awesome. A hotel on the other coast of Florida.
I'm sure we'll be playing a little Hearthstone at Nerdtacular on some hotel Wi-Fi.
I've already told the fiance that I'm stealing the iPad for that trip.
Yep, sorry. I need this.
I don't feel like bringing a laptop. I'm stealing this.
Nope. I will have an iPad and a laptop when I get out there, by the way, because, you never know.
Oh, maybe I should just bring the iPad. Or maybe I should just bring the laptop then, because if you might play Heroes, I'm going to want to play Heroes.
That's the thing. I'm
not going to sit in a hotel with you half drunk and not play Heroes.
That's why I tested it actually on the air. I was like, I have to see if this works.
Nice.
I need to know.
Awesome. Well, that'll do it for today's episode. As always, want to thank those of you who are leaving us reviews in the iTunes store. If you're a podcast listener and you are using iTunes, please leave us a review. It helps the show out a lot. This week, I wanted to thank LZ Steelers, who says we're the best of the best. Sir.
Oh,
with honors. Into the Nexus is a production of amove.tv. You can see this in all of the other shows that we do. Angry Chicken, Amove Radio, Jocelyn, who's not even on this show, doing Gamers In. Check out amove.tv. The email, once again, is itncast@gmail.com. The forums can be found over at forum.amove.tv. Join us live most Thursday nights, but not next Thursday, at 9 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv. Thanks to Alpha Geek Radio for the mobile live stream. Follow us on Twitter at ITNcast. I can be found at Garrett Art. Dills can be found at Willie Dills, and Kyle can be found tweeting from the road while he tries to make his cat calm the hell down in a U-Haul at Kyle Ferguson. And big thanks to Brian Griffith, the musician responsible for our intro music. His website's briangriffithmusic.com, and you can find my graphic design portfolio over at nomoonart.com. Dills, where can people find you?
You can find me tomorrow morning on The Instance, the World of Warcraft podcast. You don't have to. We'll be talking about, alpha. Some of the alphas.
Yeah, there's like new zones and stuff.
That's all we do is talk about alphas. That's all I do these days.
You're going to talk about the new hairy-chested human model?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It was funny. I was looking through my Twitter feed, and my girlfriend looked over and was like, why is everyone posting that guy's face? I was like, oh, it's the new human face. Everyone's having fun with it.
And I follow way too many people who play a lot of WoW.
Exactly, yeah. And my entire feed is people who play WoW. Yeah, you can find me there. You can find me on, of course, The Angry Chicken with Garrett and Jocelyn. You can also find me on the Torture Cast podcast about the Giants. We are in a huge slump, but Tim Lincecum just had a no-hitter yesterday, and that was awesome. So we're feeling good again over here in Giantstown. And then, of course, if you are a golfer and you suck at golf, you can find like-minded individuals in the Mediocre Golf Association, mgatour.com. You can find me rapping on that website. And also, this coming weekend, I'm going to be playing in the Cross Bay Cup, which is San Francisco versus Oakland. San Francisco is defending our title that we won last year. I actually sunk the winning putt. It was a 25-foot putt, uphill, breaking left to right. And that sealed the victory for the SF team. So hopefully we're going to defend that title tomorrow or Sunday, whatever it is. And then Saturday you can find me casting on Twitch the Showdown Throwdown Hearthstone tournament. It's going to be an open Hearthstone tournament. You're not going to see a bunch of name Hearthstone players, but who cares?
The local,
see some live
local San Francisco event.
Exactly. You're going to see the new up-and-coming dude you never heard of, probably playing some net deck whatever, but I'll be talking about it, and it'll be fun. So look forward to that.
He'll be playing Nimsh's Shaman poorly.
Exactly. There'll probably be a ton of Freeze Mage because of RDU, which also I want to thank because I'm playing a lot of Control Warrior, and I destroy Freeze Mages. So continue on the ladder, playing that deck.
I went back to the dark side and have been playing a little more Zoolock again lately.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Handlock
is good right now.
I'm just dying playing Handlock. I was like, screw it. I'm going back. I'm taking the cheap way out, and I'm going back to Zoolock.
It's good again because it does well against a lot of decks.
Handlock's just getting run down, man. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, they go through their ups and downs. But sometimes they're so ridiculous that it's crazy. And I don't know when Miracle Rogue's going to get knocked off its high horse, but at some point it will. Now there's the new Forsen Miracle Rogue that runs Sinister Strikes, which I always thought was good in Miracle Rogue, and I'm glad to see it back in there.
Yeah,
it's 1 mana.
It's
burns the face,
a lot more damage.
You want to do,
and it triggers your Gadget's Auctioneer.
Exactly, and it draws a card.
Yep,
it's great.
Good stuff. Check out our sponsors before we go. DogHouseSystems.com. The code to use is ITN. It'll get you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. Go check out the Warcraft Special Edition rigs while you're over there. And I believe you're going to be doing free shipping come July for part of the Nerdtacular event using the code Nerdtacular. I don't believe that's live yet.
Okay.
But yeah, just keep an eye for that if you're thinking about ordering one.
We could be making stuff up. We don't know.
No, I know it's happening.
Okay.
I know it's happening. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it, but I'm sure they're not going to mind me promoting promotions. So there's that. If I mentioned it too soon, I apologize, but we're like 2 days away from July.
Generally, our sponsors want us to talk about them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Our other sponsor is tweakedaudio.com. They make noise-reducing earbuds in a ton of different styles and colors. I love my hipster as all get out wood ones. They're wonderful. Same code, ITN, gets you 30% off and free shipping off of your entire order of noise-reducing earbuds. That even goes for those of you in Europe. This isn't just like a North America only deal. Anywhere, free shipping, 30% off. Use the code ITN. Supports us in the process. We thank our sponsors for their support. We thank you guys for listening, and we will see you in 2 weeks for episode 11 of Into the Nexus. See you at Nerdtacular, you nerds.
Oh, man. Nerds!